Okay, Horsepower Dad here. I got my 2022 Black Diamond Bronco. I meant to actually start this a little bit earlier and kind of forgot. There's a couple other videos out there. What I'm doing today is upgrading my stereo system. Actually, prior to even taking delivery of this vehicle, I'd read all the YouTube and information about how bad the stock speakers were. And so the first day I had this, I replaced the back 4.5s with kickers. And then I replaced the front 4.5s with kickers and base blockers on top of that. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be replacing the 6.5. They're actually 6 3/4, just so you guys know. It's better to buy the 6 3/4 than the 6.5. Then you'll need no adapters. So 6 3/4, I'll be using kickers on that also. And then I'll be using an all-in-one amp by kicker that has the amplifier and 10-inch subwoofer. And basically what I did so far is I've pulled the channel out, the plastic channel at the driver's seat, and I'll continue to pull it out all the way through the passenger. And I'll tap in to the 6.5 speaker and run my speaker wire down this channel along with my power cable to my amplifier. So that'll all run clean all the way down, and then I will just get my power to the amplifier directly from the battery, which I will fuse. Some people show, you can see I've pre-wired it here. I'll be putting a fuse up here also, but there is a opening right there. You can see where my power is going into. That is just a rubber stop, and some people show cutting it. You do not have to cut that. All you have to do is pull it out, and then put it back on once you've ran your wiring. So that's pretty much all you have to do there. And then I'll replace those 6.5s, which are truly 6 3/4 when you go outside of the Ford manufacturer. That's my plan. So I'll continue disassembling it, and in a little bit I'll talk about the speakers and the amplifier that I purchased. Okay, a little bit about my speakers. I will not be installing speakers in my granddaughter's Bronco. Her stereo system is just fine. Works just fine in there for her. But for me, I'm going to be replacing my 6.5 stock Ford speakers with kicker DSC 670s, which are 240 watts peak power. They're actually 6 3/4, which everything I've read said that it'll actually fit better. I won't have to buy any adapters or anything. And then I'm installing a kicker 10-inch subwoofer. This is the HS10 powered subwoofer. And the reason I went with this one is because it's start-stop safe, and I don't need a power on and off. It is activated by the power of the speaker activating. So I'll be plugging this in and tapping into the 6.5 or the 6 3/4 kick panel speakers. And when those activate, it tells this subwoofer to go ahead and power on. So that's why I purchased this one. I'll be putting this in the back of the Bronco, and I just wanted to give you a little rundown on what I'll be putting in now. Okay, so a little update. This was a little bit more challenging than I originally thought, but what I ended up doing is I went with 2 different color speaker wires. That way I can just associate left from right. I was able to run it down the track. You see my power there, and then you can see left and what I'm going to use for right. And basically I just lifted this off. I didn't actually disconnect the whole thing, which was kind of difficult, and then just used the guide. And then for back here, I ran it up this chamber and then brought it out. You can kind of see where it comes out. I haven't connected it, and I'll clean it all up, but it basically comes out right here, and then my speaker is going to go right there. So you're not going to see much of it. But to pull this whole panel off to just run the wire, and what I didn't want to do, which I know a lot of people do, is I didn't want to drill in to the plastic in case I really didn't like the subwoofer that much. So I wanted to really create as little damage as possible. As you can see, I have a dog. My dog loves the Broncos. There's dog hair everywhere. But yeah, and then what I did is I just zip tied my cable about every 1/2 foot to a foot, and ran it all the way along, so it just goes all the way along the chamber. And then once I put the plastic back on, you won't be able to see it at all. So that's an update on that. You can kind of see the paneling and how it runs all the way up and then out through that grommet, which I'll replace right there and show you what that looks like. Okay, so a little update. Ford has changed things on us. I stand corrected. The only way I could get that grommet to go back on is to actually drill a hole and to run the power line through it. So they've changed things a little bit, a little different than the 65, where you could wrap it around. I guess new technology, new stuff. So I did have to drill a hole. I just couldn't get a good seal without the hole, and so I wasn't comfortable with it coming out all the time. So what I ended up doing was just drilling a smaller hole and then pushing the amp line through it. And then on the back side, you can kind of see that that's what it looks like. And so just comes right out the middle. So that's what I ended up doing there. So working on the Bronco today, I got the last adapter. So your stock speakers come with this little adapter plug so that they plug in directly to the speaker. Right here, you can see this is the stock speaker, and that's where it connects. Where the new kickers have a different connection for a positive negative. So I went, instead of soldering or splicing it together, I went ahead and ordered the adapter. It's the Metro, I think it's called the Metron 7256. And that adapter will allow me to plug this into the speaker and plug this part into the actual doors or into the kick panels. Keynote, you can buy these adapters also for the 4.5s, but the 4.5s are different. So I bought the adapters for the 4.5s also. I don't want to take any chances of these things coming loose or anything like that, but they are different for the 4.5s than they are for the 6 3/4. So I'm going to take this adapter, and then what I'm going to use is a product called Tap It, and I'm going to tap into these wires for my amplifier speaker wires, and I'll show you how that's done here in just a minute. These are the Tap Its. Basically what it does is it just basically taps into your other speaker wire, so that we're not doing a bunch of weird splicing and ton of electrical tape or having to worry about the wires coming loose. This will be the first time I've used this product, and shout out to the other YouTubers out there that have put this on there. So I'll let you know how it works. So the way these Tap Its work, you can see basically these would be the lines going into the speaker, and then they just basically puncture the line and then tap directly onto what's going to be my amplifier line. And that's how that's going to work. Okay, so the one thing I figured out is that the 6.5 that we thought we'd buy 6 3/4 and it should fit doesn't necessarily. So what I ended up doing was actually cutting the stock speaker out of the mounting bracket that comes with it, and what I'm going to do is utilize that as my hardware to mount it. Then it fits right into the factory holes and I don't have to worry about it. So that's what I ended up doing. I just used a saw and cut the old speaker out, and I'm just going to utilize this as my adapter. So trick of the trade right there for you guys. Something that might work. We'll see how it works out for me. So now that I got the speaker back on, you can see I've cleaned everything up. Everything's tucked away. The kicker speaker is now installed with the original factory mount. It's plugged in right there. Wires are all ran, and all I got to do now is put the door seal back on. Okay, little update. So install is complete. The only thing I have left to do is to actually mount the speaker, but it is complete. It operates as it should. It shuts off when the power shut off. I got the power turned on my Bronco right now. For copyright reasons, I don't want to play any music. It is working properly. All the trim pieces are back. You can see that underneath, everything is clean. Wires are all hidden. Speaker grill covers as it should. And we're doing good. There's the hotline. So that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to send them in the message board, and I'll try to get back to you. As always, have a great day and have fun. Okay, so just wanted to do the final product. Don't mind the dog hair. I do have a white Labrador that sheds everywhere, but it turned out good. You can tell there's wires come in. I grounded it to the seatbelt. It matches almost perfectly. I did have to, wasn't happy with it just being loose, so went with the screws and screwed it in. But it is done. Run down the whole side. All the trim pieces are back in. It's clean and all put back together. So, with that being said, thanks. Another mod completed.